The balance sheet and the income statement are connected, and in more than one way. Let's go over these connections. But first, let's do a refresher on what they both are. The balance sheet tells you about the position of your business, and it showcases your assets, liabilities, and owner's equity. Your assets represent the items of economic value that the business owns or substantially controls. So that could be things like cash or accounts receivable, which is an IOU from your customers. Inventory is another popular example. Oh, and fixed assets like equipment or furniture. And prepaid expenses. These are expenses that you paid but haven't yet consumed. Liabilities, on the other hand, are obligations that the business owes to the creditors of the business. So the most common one is accounts payable. That's the balance from bills that you received and owe to vendors. Other common ones can be deferred revenue, which is the dollar amount of goods or services that you owe to your customers, or debt. That represents financial instruments from, let's say, a bank. You also have owner's equity, which is like liabilities, as it also represents financial obligations, but this time, ones that are owed to the owners of the business. So that can represent amounts put into the business, things like common stock or preferred stock or additional paid-in capital, but it can also represent prior earnings from the business that have yet to be paid out to the owners, and we call that retained earnings. And that's an important one that we'll come back to shortly. But before we do, let's do the same refresher on the profit and loss, or income statement, as many would call it. This statement tells you about the performance of your business. Are you generating a profit or a loss? That's what this statement tells you. I guess that's why they call it a profit and loss. It's separated by your revenue, which represents the income that you generate from your primary business activity. Then your cost of goods sold, which represents the cost to deliver your product or service. We then get to operating expenses, which are expenses related to operating your business. So things like advertising and marketing, or payroll fees, or professional fees. Now keep in mind, for some businesses, those examples can actually be a cost of goods sold. It really depends on what your business model is. Now we also have other income and other expenses. Those are like those awkward cousins who you only see for Thanksgiving. They're income and expense amount, but they aren't really related to your core business model. Like those cousins, they're not really part of the core family. So if you receive money back from, let's say, your credit card company for credit card points, well, that would most likely be an other income account. And if you take out a loan and pay interest on that loan, that interest would be most likely an other expense amount, since interest isn't really part of your primary business activity. All right, so those are the sections. Note that we also have profitability metrics on the profit and loss. So gross profit is the first one, and that's calculated by taking your revenue and subtracting out your cost of goods sold. It tells you how much profit you generate after each sale. Then we have net operating income. That's calculated by taking your gross profit and subtracting out your operating expenses. It represents the profits left over after each sale, after you take into account the expenses to run your business. And then we also have net other income, which is just your other income less your other expenses. And finally, net income. This is the granddaddy profitability metric. It's the one and only Eagle Double G. And it's calculated by taking your income accounts and subtracting out all of your expense accounts. Now, this can be shown before tax or after tax. It's all dependent on whether your business is generating a positive net income. So to summarize, the profit and loss tells you about the performance of your business, while the balance sheet tells you about the position of your business. One more thing to note. The profit and loss showcases all of the amounts as it relates to each individual period. The balance sheet is a snapshot as of a specific point in time. So these balances on the profit and loss are incremental. These balances on the balance sheet, well, they're cumulative. All right, now that we got that refresher out of the way, let's talk about how these two statements are connected. First, recall that retained earnings represents all of the prior earnings of the business that have yet to be paid out to shareholders. Well, earnings are denoted via net income on your profit and loss. So retained earnings is really just an accumulation of all of your past net income amounts. Until you declare a dividend, your retained earnings will match directly to the sum of all prior net income amounts. And there are two other accounts on the balance sheet that also behave this way. Those are accumulated depreciation and accumulated amortization. Depreciation expense represents the wear and tear on your fixed assets. Amortization expense represents the reduction in value of your intangible assets. And both of these accounts are on the profit and loss, but they get accumulated onto the balance sheet. So accumulated depreciation, it just represents all of the prior depreciation amounts from the profit and loss. Accumulated amortization, well, you guessed it. It represents all of the prior amortization amounts from the profit and loss as well. And both of these balances offset the asset balances, and that's known as a contra account. A contra account offsets the balance of the section that it's in. So those are three ways in which the profit and loss is directly connected to the balance sheet. Now, you can always have exceptions like audit adjustments or funky journal entries, but 99% of the time, it'll be a one-to-one connection as such. But there also are a lot of accounts that are related to these two statements. But before I tell you about those, hey, nice to meet you. I'm Josh, your CFO guy, and I post content like this to help you grow in your career with fun and engaging visuals around finance and accounting. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you aren't already subscribed, because I got so many exciting videos coming your way that you really won't want to miss. All right, so going back to these other accounts that have a relationship between the profit and loss and balance sheet, let's talk about deferred revenue. That basically represents amounts that customers have prepaid for services that you have yet to deliver to them. So each time that you deliver your product or service to a customer who already paid you, you'll take an amount from your deferred revenue balance and you'll record it instead as revenue. And then the opposite side of that is prepaid expenses. This time, you're the one who paid in advance for a product or service that you have yet to consume. So each time you consume the expense, you'll take an amount from your prepaid expense bucket and place it onto your profit and loss in the appropriate expense. And another account that behaves this way is inventory. Inventory is the amount of goods that you have on hand to sell to your customers. So each time you make a sale, you'll take an amount from your inventory balance on your balance sheet and you'll record it as cost of goods sold on your profit and loss. Now you can also sell your goods or services on credit. So your revenue on your income statement will go up while your accounts receivable on your balance sheet will also go up. And the opposite is true. You may purchase things on credit. So your expenses from your income statement will go up and your accounts payable balance from your balance sheet will also go up. Accrued expenses works similarly and is oftentimes recorded when you need to make an estimate since you don't yet have a bill, but you already know that you incurred an expense. So your journal entry would involve you increasing your expenses from your profit and loss, and then you would also increase your liabilities from your balance sheet. Or you can have something like accrued interest, which is the amount of interest that you owe on a loan that you have yet to pay. So your interest expense on your profit and loss goes up, and your accrued interest liability account also goes up, this time on your balance sheet. Intercompany balances can work similarly. So if a subsidiary has their parent pay for an expense on their behalf, the expense on the income statement of the subsidiary will go up, and the intercompany liability on that subsidiary's balance sheet will also go up. All right, that's pretty much all the connections between these two statements. But there's a third statement, the statement of cash flows. And understanding how all three of these statements are connected will unlock tremendous value in your career. And you could watch that by clicking right here. And in the meanwhile, which connection here did you learn about today? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next video.